These are the top bananas. These are the three people most responsible for bringing the car brands on this page. Yes. There's Roger Penske. Yeah. Smart's parent company, Daimler Benz. Yes. We Cars in 2008, Penske Auto Group. Yes. And then there's Subaru, Malcolm Bricklin. Yes. These are the top bananas. And then there's Elon Musk. I'm thinking that Elon doesn't like me. Now, there was this guy over there in China, happens to be a billionaire. I just mentioned this morning about how billionaires wouldn't have to pay estate taxes as long as they invested their actual wealth in a foundation that a lot of people did a little computation. Yeah. The first year it's only about 5% because it's all principal. Yes. And then it's principal plus the additional amount of appreciation. Yeah. Closer to 6% the second year. But when you get to the 10th to the 20th year, reverse amortization, yes, considering how well you've done for yourself, 10 to 15 years from now when I could be running for president. No, 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 no. Let's say you're a child. You're one of these 2, 3 year olds that I happen to see walking around all over the place. Yes. And by the time you're an adult, there's a large amount of foundation money that has to be dumped on the economy. Now, Elon, yeah, probably doing a little. Well, you're. Well, I'd like to know your estate plans and any foundation that the Tesla Corporation has set up. Now, you could pay the estate taxes on the total amount of wealth at the time of death, yes, or you could put it in a foundation that agrees to dispose of the full amount within 20 years after you. Elon is Paul. Now, this guy over there in China that happens to be the woman next door, I made mention in a recording that I thought it was better that we produce electricity instead of consume electricity. And then I mentioned in that 60 Minutes interview, they have this place, yes, where you can see all the electric vehicles that they have in China. And I thought for sure Tesla didn't like any sort of competitors, considering you're the $120,000 vehicle and they're the $60,000 vehicle. Now, when I was trying to tell the nations of the world how to stimulate their economies, yeah, there's the possible taxation of the income that is generated from the electricity that you could sell back to the grid. Yes, they might not be able to do it in the next 5 to 10 years, but let's say you had a foundation. You're concerned about air pollution. And you thought, well, why don't we put four generators on the actual wheels that are going round and round and round and find a way to discharge it into the electric grid? Now, these charging stations, yeah, they could be fast discharging stations. I mean, do they have to give out electricity or could they receive electricity into them? Why don't you give me the charging stations of the United States of America? Elon, Elon. Now, why don't you give me the estate plans of those that would have some sort of estate tax liability? Last time I looked, it was about $10 million of actual value of estate. Put you in the estate tax category. Now, for every American citizen that thought, well, I'm going to set up a charity, yeah, and we're going to give 4% a year for all of time, perpetuity, forever and ever and ever. Ford Foundation. I know. It seems weird that we would want to spend that money over the next 20 years, but I was looking at the United States Treasury this morning and somebody's spending an additional $1 trillion a year on various expenses of the United States government. In fact, well, it isn't that stimulating to start with. Now you're saying, well, I'm just an American citizen. I can't turn this into real laws or real legislation, but you're an oath of office that's running for governor or you're running for president. What happens when a governor of a state announces that they're running for president? Do you have to give up the actual title of being the governor of the state? Because it would be the deputy governor that's going to prison, isn't that right?